Oh, very good. All right. Well, Miss Tina, are you with us?
Hi, yes, good morning.
All
Good
right, great.
morning.
Well, one thing we love to do is to try and have everybody on or different folks on to kind of join us and tell us what's happening in the real estate world and what's happening. And so today we're blessed to have Miss Tina Porch with RIA. I don't know if you guys refer to it as RIA or what now. So I'll go ahead and let you kind of give us the quick rundown here.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm actually Tina Porch with Residential Inspector of America. We call it RIA.
Okay.
And just to give you a little feedback with us, we're actually a family-owned home inspection company that has been around since 1989. And we actually have over 40 home inspectors on our team. So what does that mean for you guys during these short due diligence periods? It's been very challenging, but we have actually been doing from next day to even same day home inspections right now. So we just want to make sure that our agents and home buyers are well taken care of. But more importantly, we were home of the $25,000 in free warranty coverage, but now it has increased to $100,000 in free warranty coverage with all of our home inspections. And I'm actually going to email all of the details over to you. But our full structural warranty has increased from 6 months to now 1 full year. And we also offer a 5-year roof leak warranty, 90-day mechanical warranty, 90-day mold growth warranty, and also a 90-day main sewer and water line warranty. So what this means to you, say, for instance, we come in, we inspect the AC unit, and at the time of service, the AC unit is working properly fine. But 60 days later, the AC unit goes out. So what does your home buyer do? Just give us a call and submit a claim. And the best thing, they could use whichever contractor that they want to use. So it just really gives your home buyers that peace of mind and help save you time.
Well, one of the things we really like is that you guys do have like some of the fastest turnarounds out there, kind of thing. Because we know that it is still a seller's market right now, and so we're having to have speed built in on a lot of our offers to be able to really,
Absolutely.
I mean, and there was a trend for a little while, which we're really glad it kind of has abated of kind of no inspections, no due diligence, that kind of stuff, and we've been very against that, and so are you guys starting to see a little bit more uptick as the market's not necessarily cooling off, but it's definitely starting to level back out a little bit more? Is that kind of affecting your business as well right now?
No, we're still moving strong. We are because we're able to do that same day to even next day home inspection. So our phone lines are ringing because of that.
That's right.
Good.
Yes. And because again, we have, over 40 home inspectors on our team, so we can service throughout Metro Atlanta, all the way down to Covington, West Cobb, Beaufort. So we're all over. So yeah.
Great.
So I'll make sure to leave my contact information in the
Yeah, and
chat.
then we'll attach it on here. You can find it at realestatebackstory.com. Then you can see it in the remarks there, and we'll put it on our Facebook as well. So, Miss Tina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank
You
you.
too.
All right.
All right. So let's kind of look at what's happening this week. So this week we have a couple of things going on still training wise in CE. So on Thursday, I'm teaching getting started with RPR. This is, if you're a realtor and you're not taking advantage of RPR, Realtors Property Resource, then you're missing out on a really great sales opportunity. Marketing opportunity. It really is a very cool tool. One of the things I really do like about RPR is, some agents list in FMLS, some agents list in Georgia MLS. Well, RPR pulls data from both.
Right.
And this is a basic introductory class that just kind of goes over getting you started, that kind of stuff. We don't do a huge deep dive, but we do get in and kind of give you the basics, the overview, and all the things you can do it. And that's going to be live in our McDonough office, and you can also catch it virtually as well that day. Also, we have every Monday now, we're doing the Brian Buffini 100 Days to Greatness that is part of our, we kind of started this, what, 4 or 5 weeks ago kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's been so far, the review on that is great, simply because, it's a good refresher. If not, is also applicable to current, today's market and, the environment we're in.
Yeah. And we really, so many agents work off referral. A lot of folks think it's about lead gen, and you do have to generate leads, don't get me wrong, but then you have to nurture those leads, and you have to have a good referral system. So we really like the Brian Buffini system, and we find this is a really great program. If you haven't gotten started, we can catch you up. Okay, come into the offices. We don't have the ability to give this out online. You can go to Buffini folks and buy that yourself if you want to, and we encourage you to do that. But if you want to do it with us, and it's got to be done in office kind of thing. And so please, we still have plenty of time to kind of run in here. So we'd love to have you kind of join us. It's every Monday at 11 o'clock. And if you want to get caught up, just come in, meet with any of our branch managers, and they go through and get you into the process.
And today we're covering time management. And I can tell you right now, a lot of us don't know what to do with our time. And I can tell you, if you can just focus a little bit in managing your time, you'll be amazed how much productivity you'll see.
Yeah, and especially for new agents, when folks start off in the business, they're kind of like, hey, I'm a realtor.
Now what?
What do I do? Right? like what's that look like, kind of thing. Right. So it's really great to work that in. All right, let's kind of get into some current news here. So the Supreme Court ends the CDC eviction moratorium, and first it was out there, then it expired. Biden said he couldn't extend it, and then he did, and now the CDC came back and basically said no, we can't do that. And I'm not trying to be the harsh guy that's all about kicking anybody out. That's really not what this is about. The challenge is that there is a lot of money out there still for rental assistance that's not getting spent or utilized right now. So it's really hard to say that we need this eviction moratorium when there's so much aid out there that's not being utilized, kind of thing. So, the vast majority of landlords are small mom and pop 1 and 2 property people, kind of thing, who just can't really keep carrying that kind of thing. So, this was put forth by the Georgia Association of Realtors, along with the Alabama Association of Realtors, kind of thing, and it has kind of worked out. Now, rental assistance is still available out there, but the Treasury Department right now, we've got like 50 and like $46.5 billion earmarked right now. And so I think that we've only spent $5 billion of that. And if we don't start spending it, they're going to put that money in other places. So there is assistance, there is aid out there for folks that need it. They just have to reach out and really kind of talk about it. So and that's always the hard part, though. I mean, it's kind of like back when we were seeing folks in foreclosure and that kind of stuff. Folks don't like to air their dirty laundry. It's much easier just to shove your head in the sand and than it is to actually go out and confront it. But that really is kind of what needs to happen here, kind of thing. I want to talk a little bit about, much ado about ados. And so a lot of folks don't really understand what ADUs are, kind of thing. And so ADUs aren't this new housing concept. They've kind of been around for a long time. Carriage houses,
right.
Granny flats, finished basements, that kind of thing. But an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. And it really is it normally deals with planning and zoning. And we're seeing where in this housing market, that's one of those things that really is coming. It's really in high demand.
Right.
And we've had a lot of questions both from clients as well as a lot of our realtors about, is this something we can do? What is it? How's it work? That kind of thing. And so they are really, really popular right now, but we're not going to kind of cover a few things. First of all, they're really tough to build. And what I mean by that is you have some real challenges. First one's going to be P&Z. Planning and zoning,
Get them approved.
Well, you have to get it approved. And so, the reason that it's called single family dwelling is it's made for single family, right? And so you have to get those put in. Now, we're seeing where some municipalities are open to this.
Right.
But that's like a small percentage, like 10% kind of thing. And so the first step is going to be getting in with planning and zoning, because even if they do allow it, they're going to have a lot of restrictions, how big the ADU can be compared to the main structure, that kind of stuff, because you generally have three different types of it. You have single family, you have attached, detached, and internal kind of thing, or
Internal will
interior,
be, right, will be finished basement.
that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. So, but they all have a separate entrance. It's like having this small little house that's built in as part of your existing home kind of thing. And so the next big issue is cost, because you would think if I'm just gonna add a little place on there, well, it can't be that much. Wrong. Okay. Because you're still building an entire household.
Especially a property with a septic lot. Just remember, your septic tank was built for that house, not for additional. So if you are building ADU, you may be looking at putting another septic tank in a system.
Well, and all your building codes, because even if it is set up for not only septic, but like, let's say that you have a 200 amp service coming into your house, you may have to have another 100 or 200 amp service brought in. A lot of times, if you're going to come in and build an ADU, guess what has to happen to, because you're going to repair or add on to a certain percentage. Now, everything in your house has to be brought up to current building codes, because you're doing such a large renovation. Last thing is going to be financing. Getting financing for ADUs is nearly impossible. Yeah, I mean,
not unless you're doing line of
home equity line of credit. It's really kind of the own thing. But as far as like going in and getting that financed and then having that built into the overall, it makes some mortgage companies really antsy, because they're like, okay, is this now, because it's now part of the structure, which would mean that it now falls underneath the ownership of the mortgage company at that point. So there's a lot of things to work out there. You would think that, gosh, I got this extra space, I should just be able to do what I want with it. And in theory, you think that's how it is, but reality is very, very different. So, we are looking for a lot of options, especially in this kind of housing market. What can we do to increase more housing options? And we love ADUs and that kind of stuff. We see that so many families are, we have older and younger generations living together now. So we do see the benefits of it. If you're going to go into there, you just kind of got to go into it with kind of your eyes wide open kind of thing. So,
and I'm sure there are homeowners out there that say, well, it's my house, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And that's perfectly fine. And some will even notify planning and zoning because they don't want to be taxed on a new higher tax basis. But just understand, if they're going to resell, they may have some challenges.
It's going to be fun. All right. So good news, bad news here. Property taxes about to go up, right? Because we're all starting to see our property tax bills come in. In Georgia, it comes in at different times in different counties, that kind of thing. And listen, it's great that property values, if you're a homeowner, it's great that your property values have been increasing. But the side of that kind of thing
It's property taxes
is that you're going to end up paying more taxes kind of thing. A lot of places are looking at 4 to 5% increases in their property taxes. Here in Georgia, we're blessed. In Georgia, we have some of the lowest property taxes in the nation, but still, what can we do to help? And so there's a couple of things out there that we can possibly do to help with our clients. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is about relationships and building relationships with your clients and being able to assist your folks that goes well beyond the transaction kind of thing. And so what are things that we can do to help our friends out there? And so the first thing is that we can help our clients know their home value. And so when we go through and explain what their values are and that kind of stuff, one, it should give them some confidence. It may also be like, how much? Well, maybe we'll sell too, kind of thing.
Right.
Next thing is that we can help and verify our clients, what's on tax records for our clients. Because sometimes what's on tax records and what's reality isn't necessarily right either way. It just kind of depends on what's going on. And then can they appeal that? Now, I'm not encouraging you to go and appeal it for any of your clients. You have no business being in there, but you can provide comps for them to be able to appeal it, that kind of thing. One thing that you can do is on that tax report to see, are there any outbuildings? Because if there are unused outbuildings or outbuildings that used to be there that aren't there anymore, that can actually help to reduce the value also. Making sure that all of our clients have their homestead exemptions.
If applicable.
If applicable. Thank you, our tax person here. And then there are also, like, if you're over 65, sometimes there are different senior exemptions kind of thing from school taxes and those kind of things that are out there. There are some veterans exemptions
so
for
find
senior
out.
veterans as well as
Well, you don't have to be senior. As veteran, the loan officer should have already told the veteran whether or not they're fully exempt or partial exempt, so.
And then some counties have line of duty exemptions if something has happened to a person in line of duty and that kind of thing. So there are some options out there, and it is great to kind of share those. That was me. Sorry.
He yells at me half the time.
I do yell at her. That's very, very true. Well, not yell. That makes you sound like a horrible person kind of thing. All right. So next is going to be, we want to talk a little bit about home buyer blues, because our home buyers are having some blues. And this is actually equating into depression. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but depression for some of our home buyers. They're seeing that the inventory is really, really tight. It's a competitive season.
Not only that, the price is so high
Yeah.
beyond what it was in February or March.
Yeah, and everyone's thinking that, well, can I get a list of foreclosures? Can I get a list of fixer uppers, that kind of stuff? They're just not there.
Well,
kind of
you
thing.
can, they're very limited, but I understand with everyone a foreclosure, there's about twice the amount regular and normal regular resale bidding.
And so really what we wanted to chat about, and I can't say it in English, is we have to make sure that we're showing some empathy. It's very easy for us to be in this hot housing market with a lot of demand, not enough supply, and just kind of be like, oh, well, stinks to be you kind of thing. And I don't think we ever try and come across that way, but it is legit that we need to make sure that we're showing empathy, especially for our first time buyers. They're struggling right now. They're having a hard time coming to grips, understanding what's really going on. I don't have the ability to drop prices and to, make this inventory show up and that kind of stuff. Right. And neither do you. But that doesn't mean that we can't be showing our heart, show that we care, keep them informed about what's going on. We are seeing a little bit more inventory come on the market right now, which is a blessing. As we move into the fall, we're really hoping for even more inventory to continue to show up. So, that is a really good sign, but we need to make sure that we're showing our hearts and that we really do care.
Yeah, and this is how clients sometimes want to skip from one agent to another, is simply because they feel like that the agent doesn't really care. They're just number in the game.
Yep. Let's talk about some numbers. Speaking of which, numbers, that was a good segue. Thank you. So we got some new housing data in. Now, these are national numbers kind of thing. Overall asking prices, great news. A lead way from where we just came. Asking prices on new listings are up 10% over 2020. Now that sounds bad, but it's not up as much as it was. I mean, if you look back in April and May, how much we were over last year, and you can also see that our asking prices are actually starting to trend down again, which is actually kind of a blessing coming in there. Same thing, pending sales are still up. Right now, we are still having more sales than we've had for the last 3 years kind of thing. And this is really when we were at the peak of the buying season last year. You can see the blue line represents the trend for last year. And so this was really kind of like the height of the market last year. And normally we're tapering down even more so than we are. So we're looking to have a little bit better fall number wise than we have in past years. There's still a lot of demand.
Because there's a lot of buyers that still want to get into a home.
New listings are pretty much flat from 2020. The number of new listings coming on the market, we were seeing a slight uptick, which we really appreciated kind of thing. And so in Georgia, we're a little bit better than that. These are national numbers here. 50% of our homes are under contract in 2 weeks. And so that needs to be a number that we're kind of paying attention to. If you're a listing agent, kind of realize that if you've got a new listing and it's not under contract within 2 weeks, wonder what reason that would be, man. Price. Well, but we have this price. Well, how about this over here? Price.
Well, at some point, you're gonna price a home out of the market, and the buyer will think your home is not worth the price that you're demanding.
Yep.
So that's why if your home haven't been under contract within 2 weeks, you're listed too high.
Yeah. Days on market continues to be low. You can see where our days on market are for the last 3 years, and we're still at some of the lowest. I mean, we're not at the lowest, but I mean, we're all the way up to 18 days on market kind of thing. Down from, I think, 15 or up from 15 rather. Over half of our homes right now are selling
above list price.
Oh, that really is up at or above is really what it is. So we are still seeing, there is still a lot of pressure on competing listings and multiple offers on properties that are priced well. Over half right now are still going over asking. However, 5% of our listings have had a price drop, and that's a
Yeah.
trend. I mean, you can kind of see the red line represents this year, and this is the number of listings that have had to have reductions. So the days of just, hey, I'm going to throw a price out there and wait for somebody
And
to do
this
it.
is actually piggyback to last week when he was not here. Part of the presentation was that we're seeing a list drop.
Yep. And so we are seeing where it was 4% last month, now it's 5%. So we're seeing a larger percentage, and that's those folks who just think that they can just throw this ridiculous price out there on some things, and that's not going to fly. So list price ratio, which also goes along with that, is down. Okay, you can see where it peaked earlier, a couple months back, and it's been on a steady decline of sale to list price ratio, which is, this is the price we sell it for, this is the price or list it for, this is the price we sell it for, and that is coming back down into the realm of more reasonable kind of thing. I would say in the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to start seeing that level out even more so. A lot of the economists out there are saying, hey, this is not going to end. Okay. Normally this time of year, we're seeing things just kind of, it's kind of laying down a little bit. Normally this time of year, we're going into the fall. Fall is the time when we sell less homes historically, but that's not really looking to happen right now. We are seeing a slight dip. I mean, but by slight, 3 to 4% from where we were, kind of thing. And when we're talking about normal numbers of sales, we're not talking dollar amounts, anything like that, but just the number of transactions. Normally this is a time where things start to taper down. We start moving into the fall.
School has started, and everybody that wants to be in a certain school district has already moved.
Yeah, exactly. So we agree that we're going to be seeing fall numbers strong compared to previous years. So if you're like, well, normally I take off November and December kind of thing,
you might want to think about it twice.
I mean, you gotta make hay while the sun shines, and in real estate, you're either busy or broke. Pick one. So I'm going to take busy. The economy overall, more national news. The economy grew at 6.5% annual rate, which is faster than I really thought about, and it really is a really good sign for overall for our national economy. At the same time, interest rates continue. We're on like a 5 or 6 week run in that 2.8 to 2.9 APR kind of thing on mortgage rates. So mortgage, and at the same time, mortgage applications increased last week with purchase apps as well. Refis are also up. So, we're seeing where folks are still really, really engaged in that. Jobless claims, unemployment was really kind of unchanged from
last week,
from the week before, and the last couple of weeks, actually, kind of thing. It really has kind of leveled off those initial claims. We had been seeing a pretty steady decline, and not that these numbers are really high. We're actually down to pre-pandemic numbers now, kind of thing, because everybody in the world is hiring, so it's really hard on that kind of thing. For what, year and a half now, we've kind of been tracking that and we've even been talking about how the burbs and rural areas have really been growing. And so you think that, gosh, with those areas really exploding and blowing up, that the cities, and we were actually seeing numbers talking about the cities are really starting to thin out and that kind of stuff.
Well, it's coming back.
Well, not only is it coming back, it actually, Atlanta, there was 5 markets, five city markets in the US that actually continued to grow through the pandemic. Jacksonville, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Phoenix, and Atlanta are all markets that even through the pandemic still really, really grew inside the city limits itself, area, kind of thing. And so, while we did see a lot of other things move out, or a lot, like New York, some of your really big cities,
we
and that
see
kind of
some
stuff.
business moving out of the busiest district, typically your high dollar. There are businesses that closed down due to COVID. So on the commercial side, it is being impacted just a little bit, but we're seeing everybody coming back and reopening up. But as far as residential side, You have a lot of folks selling, but you also have a lot of folks buying.
Yeah. So don't think that the cities are dead, I guess what we're saying, especially not in Atlanta. There is a lot of apartment construction going on here in the Atlanta market. We are the 8th largest. Well, I'm not sure. We're the 8th most numerous. I'm having a hard time describing
It's okay.
this.
We're the 8th largest unit to be added in apartment complex.
Yes, that was terribly difficult to say, but we're building more apartments than the majority of those cities in the U.S. There's only 7 of the cities that are building more apartments than us. How about that?
So what was amazing to me is some of them are building strictly for rentals.
Well, these are apartments.
Well,
So yeah.
actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, condos I was thinking about.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing entire neighborhoods done that too, but this, this is a result of the overall housing market where we're at. We don't have enough households, and this is why we say this is not going to be a bubble.
Well, Atlanta has had such an influx of people coming in as well. We have grown in population.
Yeah. So, not only that, if you look at, well, gosh, if I'm going to build apartments, I wonder why I build apartments. Well, take a look at here. Okay, national rent growth is running around, 11-12% for 2-bedroom apartments, around 9% for 1-bedroom apartments, and you can kind of see what the trend is going, and it's not looking to go down anytime soon. Rents follow 3 to 12 months behind property values.
Right.
And so here in the Atlanta market, our average 1-bedroom price is around $1,600, and that increased by almost 4% last month alone. 2-bedroom average price here is $2,120, and that is 12% over last year, kind of thing. 2% last month. Overall, for the 1-bedroom, it's up almost 16% over last year. So for the folks who are like, we're just going to wait it out and rent, that's a really bad play for them, kind of thing. At the same time, this is our rental market data. Now, this is for the overall Atlanta. This is for Atlanta, Georgia, kind of thing. And so, is it cheaper to rent or to own? So the median rental in Atlanta is $1,811. The median mortgage payment in Atlanta is $1,295. Now, we're talking about our averages here, but you can see that it is clearly more beneficial.
It's a $526 spread.
That was really fast.
So
in your mind, wow,
that's huge.
She calculates way better than me. So anyway, so it is still better to rent. Better to buy here.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, that was completely backwards. I can't read. So we're seeing where lumber prices are down. Lumber prices could save almost $40,000
per house, which is huge because now instead of.
But
yeah, I know the other prices are going up too.
Exactly.
We talked about it last week.
So it's great. Lumber per board foot at one point was like $1,700 per board foot, and now it's down to $500. So a huge drop in lumber, which is really, and we're just now starting to see that at Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that. It's normally 3 to 4 months because lumber is bought on futures. And so lumber futures are way down, which is kind of a good sign. It takes several months for it to actually show up to where we can go buy it. But the builders are starting to be able to buy that kind of thing. The challenge for the builders is everything else is continuing to go up.
The sheetrock, the electrical, the plumbing, everything's going up. So the lumber kind of set the trend, and everybody else is kind of starting.
So we're hoping to see more of that. But overall, new construction last year was up 18% over the year before on just the overall new construction pricing kind of thing. At the same time, single family homes are getting bigger. So this is from the National Association of Home Builders kind of thing. And so we went up to the average new construction home is 25,540. I don't know where I'm getting my numbers today. 2,540 square foot nationwide kind of thing. That's kind of the average.
If you think about it, back in the days, around about 70s, 80s, average starter home was around about 1,600 to 1,800 square foot. So huge jump.
Yeah. Well, and because, based on economies of scale, normally it's cheaper per foot to build bigger than it is to build smaller.
Well,
but the pricing also is, and the builders are seeing this. The builders are pricing themselves out of the market. half of all our new construction builds are now more than $400,000. And that's not where our market is right now. Well, I mean,
Our market,
there's plenty of inventory. I mean, there's plenty of demand for 400,000. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is, if you look at the amount of demand that there is for 200 to 300, huge. But we only have about 20% of our inventory is being built at that price point kind of thing. And so, the builders are seeing where they're getting pushback. And I'm really kind of glad, because for a little bit we've been having some of our builders get a little bit big for their britches. We're seeing folks that have been doing.
I mean, it's a cost economy sometimes.
It is, but
and from a buyer perspective, they're looking at the property's already built. Why are you charging me a $20,000-$30,000 increase for my contract price? The problem is they got all these other buildings that's right behind theirs. If they don't raise it up, guess what? It won't appraise for the next 5 or 10, and builder can't build a property.
I guess I'm
at a
talking
loss.
more from the point of view of, we had builders going in and offering 0 commission, 1% for buyer's agents, things like that. And all of a sudden they're kind of coming back to us being like, hey, you want to buy a house? It's kind of a good place for us to be back there, kind of thing. And so hopefully we'll see the builders. I'm just looking for balance. That's really it. I don't want to take advantage of the builders, but I don't want to get taken advantage of by the builders either, kind of thing. Speaking of builders, California is advancing this bill to eliminate single family zoning. We talked about this earlier as far as the ADUs, and a lot of times things that happen in California, you will filter out through. So it is kind of interesting to see that that there are places that are going to be opening up some of our zoning issues and all that. Sorry, I need my clicker. So at the same time, Canada has proposed a ban on foreign home buyers.
Wow.
But he's trying to get reelected. And if you think property values here are nutty, try Canada.
Crazy up there.
Their median price point $680,000. All right.
Is that Canadian dollar or US?
I'm sure it's Canadian dollars.
Okay.
They're in Canada. I'm pretty sure they're not going to base their economy off the US.
There's a difference
I'm with
in dollar value.
But still, it's Canadian. Canadian money will be Canadian.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's not that far from the US dollar. But it's up almost 26% over last year, and they're running on like 3 or 4 years of those kind of increases, kind of thing. What's going to be interesting is if Canada stops foreign buyers, guess where they're probably going to go? A little bit farther south. Yeah, we're kind of expecting that to kind of happen in the US then. We want to jump into something that can be contentious, and we don't mean for it to be, and that is selling real estate during COVID kind of thing. I'm not going to get into the any kind of debate or anything about I am vaxxed, I'm not vaxxed. That's not what this is. But we would be negligent if we didn't say, look, you can kind of see this is here in Georgia, what's going on. And you can see where our current spike is actually now just about to exceed the absolute peak that we had earlier this year. So the fact that we know this is going on, we have to be thoughtful, conscientious, understanding what's going on. If you see me and you want me to wear a mask, I have no problem. Now, we're both vaccinated. We have no problem with that. But at the same time, I'm not going to be belligerent about that either. And if you're not vaccinated, I do encourage you to wear a mask, because I worry about you and I care about you, kind of thing. We're seeing where our sellers are starting to get worried about what's going on in their homes. There for a while, it really eased up.
Right.
And for a lot of folks in the real estate world, we all just immediately went back to business as usual. And we're seeing where our clients and our friends aren't ready for business as usual. And so we really need to be thinking about how do we do business during this time of COVID? How can we continue to be respectful? Those kind of things, and understand that there's still people that are scared, and there's people that are scared of COVID. There's people that are scared of vaccines, and again, I'm not trying. I don't want to get into any kind of debate about that.
And You are to a certain extent, but
Well-
let's just leave it at this. COVID affect different people differently.
Mhm.
There's no one solution for all. So all we can ask, be conscientious, be preventive, and not in respect of other people's wishes and desires, simply because they may have known people that was affected or has death in the family.
Yeah.
So until you walk down their shoes, it's hard to know what they're going through, but just be respectful and do what you can do in your part.
Yeah. Now, there's a new study out by Cornet Global, and they found out that the vast majority of companies aren't mandating vaccines for employees. They're looking at about, according to the companies that they've interviewed, and they've interviewed a bunch of them, maybe about 30% of companies are going to mandate for vaccines, and we see all kinds of like we're not mandating or anything like that, but about 70% of them won't be, kind of thing. That's kind of leading more into the work at home and that kind of stuff. And we've even seen some real changes that come out of that, because what they're finding is that burnout from work is like so much worse from working at home than it was from working at the
Well,
office.
there's no cohesion, there's no camaraderie, there's no collaboration. And, a lot of business are built on collaboration. And when you're outside your immediate area, the collaboration sometimes doesn't go as well as on site.
Yeah, they went so they went out and they've done these studies and said, how much emotional exhaustion do you have from working in the office, from working in person, and from going, like this hybrid model? We're seeing a lot of hybrid options going out there. And the funny thing is that the lowest burnout comes from actually going into the office. About 69% for an office, 81% for hybrid, and almost 90% for remote working. So remote working turns out while it is convenient, it's way more stressful.
Well,
kind of
and
thing.
also, when it first started, there was a lot of dedication on, independent work. But as time progresses, people
Yeah.
tend to, prioritize differently because they no longer have that cohesion of leadership and same aspect of, I guess, goals.
Yeah. So our climate endangered areas are the ones where we all want to move to. So it turns out that if you're going to like have excessive heat, drought, fire, floods, and storms, we want to move there. So which is just kind of funny. You can kind of see like what are the what are our trends running, kind of thing. These are the places with some of the highest storm issues and that kind of stuff, and they're also coupled with some of our most popular places where we want to move. So turns out Americans are hard-headed, in case you didn't know. I'm just being funny. It's always been that way on the coast. Hey, if you need some more me time, we do hang out afterwards on here. You can go to max1.rock/chat. We always hang out for a little bit afterwards. If you got any questions, we can assist you in any way. We hope that you guys have a very, very productive week. If you need us, call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all. And we hope that you guys have an amazing week.
Come check us out at 11 o'clock for Brian Buffini for any one of our locations. And thank you very much. Have a happy Monday.
Deuces.